Well, it was on tax and development, so I thought that was right up my alley. And yeah, and there's a lot of good stuff coming out of IDS, so I thought that was exciting to start with. And then I guess just the appeal of meeting lots of people from all over the place, from different countries, different backgrounds, different experience and things. I thought was a great opportunity.
Tax and development is one of the key issues I do follow in the day-to-day work of mine. As a journalist, there are quite a variety of areas which tend to pick up. Journalists in my country tend to run for other things like politics, sports, or whatsoever. But all along in my writing, taxation issues has been always minor focus. I happen to be a business writer, and particularly I follow economic issues and finance, where of course tax belongs.
We are part of the Tax Just Network Africa, but the depth of capacity for civil society engagement in tax, because it's relatively new, is quite low. And I've attended one or two other training. But when I saw the advert for IDS, and I have a lot of colleagues who have been to IDS training, I felt that this was something I should. So I applied for it, and there was a bit about scholarship for 3 people. And I also said, well, let me cast in my lot with the justification. And so I applied for it to be part of it, to gain capacity, to identify. And of course, when I saw the multinational and multi-sectoral component of those that are being invited, I felt it was an opportunity to learn in such an environment. And the scholarship, of course, because for civil society, funding is usually a challenge. An opportunity to be funded, to be part, was good. So that's why I applied, and I'm glad I was part of it.
I think understanding some of the history around, for example, the creation of the model double taxation treaties was fascinating, because I think when you're coming at it from a accountancy practitioner perspective, the focus is very much on what's the law and how do we apply it, and actually understanding some of the historical background and why the law is the way it is, and how it can actually be completely different if people choose to make different contracts, make different treaties. It's just quite exciting to see that possibility.
Of all the issues that we've gone through, there are 2 things which I think have made me so happy. One is the subnational taxation. We have a constitution that was passed in my country that gave the role of budget making to parliament, to legislature, which was not the case before until around 2010. So now we have a problem. The same constitution and the enabling laws makes it a requirement that there are transfers which go to the counties. Our subnational government are counties. So when what is transferred is about minimum 15%. It can be any percentage, but it must be the lowest. The floor is 15% of the revenue. Now, the counties are supposed to also collect revenue. So the issue of subnational revenue, taxation, was very critical for me, because now I will be able to be advising the Senate Committee on Finance on how they can encourage the counties to generate more revenue as a way of promoting development at those levels. The second one is the issue of extractive resources. What is happening is that oil was discovered in Kenya about 4 years ago. That is, and the exploration and now exploitation is being done by Tullow. It's a UK oil exploration company, and the debate that has been going on is how the oil resources are going to benefit the whole country, how those resources, how the revenue that is going to come from there is not going, how it can be managed in a manner that it would not bring the oil cost, the non-oil cost, and there are also a lot of mineral resources which have been discovered. So I was just looking at it and saying, okay, maybe I'm the one who is now going to preach this good gospel on how to get maximum revenue from the oil resources and all these other extractive resources.
So yes, this course is very important to me, that when I get back home, I will not only utilize this knowledge which I've gained here, but I will try to go a step further to also entice some journalists who have interest in it. I know it's difficult, people will just listen for something, but then the words can go from one ear to another, and then it just goes, blah. But I hope that the few will be able to listen to my words would be better.
I would say that the link between tax, or sort of linking tax and governance very closely. I mean, we've always worked with tax and governance as sort of part of the same thing, but there was a slightly new angle to this, which was linking it even closer than we maybe do it. And I think just input from people working in revenue authorities in Africa was very useful as well. And then some of the information that we got on the international taxation was extremely useful, and that will come in very usefully when I'm doing sort of work on international taxation.
It'll be immensely helpful. I mean, just having a different perspective on issues of, say, international taxation, local government taxation, just being able to come at that from the viewpoint of people who are doing this work for revenue authorities in the field on a day-to-day basis, just alerts you to so many difficulties and sensitivities that I think it's just very hard to appreciate from just reading articles or reading books and talking to people on the phone. Actually sort of sitting down and discussing the detail with people is fantastic.